Hey, State Farm's here to help, no matter how long you've been in the game.
Game? Oh, man.
Pickles. It worked.
Drop everything and pay attention. What Caitlin Clark is doing off the basketball court is starting to feel just as unbelievable as the deep three-pointers she hits during games. And that's saying something. We're talking about a superstar who broke the all-time NCAA scoring record, knocked down more than 343 three-pointers, and turned logo-range shots into what looked like simple practice drills. She's basically a walking highlight reel. Defenders were constantly pushed outside their comfort zones, and she helped push women's basketball viewership to levels it had never reached before. Her championship game alone pulled in 18.7 million viewers. Major broadcasters reshuffled schedules just to air Iowa games, and arenas filled up just to watch her step across half court. So when big brands started signing her for major ad campaigns, they didn't need to manufacture hype or ad effects. The reality was already more than enough. Marketers simply leaned into what fans already knew. Caitlin Clark can score from anywhere. Her confidence and timing are so extreme that she makes impossible shots feel routine. Every ad reflects that energy in a different way. Take the Nike commercial, the From There, From Anywhere concept, which turns her ridiculous shooting range into a clever joke. That ad perfectly captures how the world sees her. The entire idea is built around one simple pattern. Someone challenges her range. Hey, Caitlin, can you make it from there? People point her toward increasingly absurd locations, the sideline, a stairwell, even up in the rafters. And just when it feels unrealistic, she proves them wrong again, like nothing has changed since 2021. Because if there's one thing people still haven't learned, it's this. Questioning whether she can hit a shot is usually the fastest way to watch her make it. Not a shot, Caitlin, way out on the left side. You've got this. Honestly, I'm not even going to ask. These small moments are what make it work. A friend is pointing from the corner. A fan is shouting from the balcony. Someone else casually says, "From here might be impressive." And the response is simple. Whatever, sure, right from there. The whole thing keeps escalating until it almost becomes funny, just because of how ridiculous the requests get. The narrator even starts laughing at how over-the-top it sounds. From there. From anywhere. Then the final person looks at the spot and hesitates. Hey, Caitlin, from here might actually be impressive. And she still answers the same way. Whatever it takes. That's the entire vibe. Right from here, from there, from anywhere. The humor lands because it doesn't feel like a scripted comedy sketch. It feels like it's based on reality. She actually did hit shots from everywhere on the court, pulling up from 30 feet like it was nothing more than a routine free throw. She lit up teams like South Carolina, LSU, and Ohio State from those exact kinds of ranges. She didn't just take deep shots. She made them look normal, more than anyone in the country, men's or women's basketball included. Nike didn't really need to invent a joke. They just exaggerated what people were already seeing by a small margin to turn it into a punchline everyone recognizes. Fans already lived that experience during games, thinking there's no way she makes that. Oh, she just did. That's why the campaign works. It turns a shared reaction into the entire concept. And since it launched around the time her $28 million deal was being finalized, it also felt like a subtle nod to everything she's become. Not just dominant on the court, but winning on a much bigger stage too. Which turns her signature shot into a kind of superpower. Where Nike highlighted her limitless shooting range, State Farm focused more on her identity and personality. In the From the Logo concept, they basically turned the shot that made her famous into a running joke that connects to everyday life. It starts with that familiar broadcast-style call, Caitlin Clark from the logo, and then flips into something playful and relatable. The idea goes like this. Life would be easier if everything could just be done from the logo. Then the scene shifts away from the basketball court into normal settings like a kitchen or a living room. She's doing completely ordinary tasks, but the twist is that she's still operating like she's on the court from the logo. Everything stays simple on the surface, nothing exaggerated, but the joke is that she handles it all with the same deep-range confidence. It's calm, effortless, almost automatic. No big reaction, just that same composed expression while making the impossible feel routine. Then the second State Farm ad takes a totally different direction. This one features Jimmy Butler and Reggie Miller and leans into controlled chaos instead of calm humor. It begins normally, but the moment someone says shoot, everything gets misunderstood. The word triggers confusion. Shoot, shoot. Okay, I'll shoot. What is happening? I don't even see a hoop. No, wait, I meant. Sorry, I'll shoot. Where's the hoop? The joke builds as everyone keeps accidentally using the word shoot, making the situation more chaotic each time. Caitlin, meanwhile, reacts instantly like she's still in a game. Her basketball instincts kick in if someone says shoot. She's ready to launch a three, even when there's no hoop at all. That's the core humor. She's always in basketball mode, no matter how weird or unrelated the situation is. And then Reggie Miller, one of the greatest shooters in NBA history, known for his deep threes, just watches the whole thing unfold, adding to the irony. The confusion keeps escalating, and Jimmy Butler eventually steps in with a completely unrelated comment that resets the tone. What really makes the joke land is her understated acting style. There are no exaggerated comedy expressions or forced reactions, just her natural competitive instinct showing up in completely wrong situations, and that contrast is what makes it funny. Think about that Capital One commercial with the NBA legends, the one that went viral everywhere. That campaign already had a huge legacy in sports advertising, usually featuring names like Larry Bird, Spike Lee, and Michael Jordan in different versions. It's one of the most recognizable recurring sports ad franchises in the country. In that setup, Samuel L. Jackson, Magic Johnson, and Charles Barkley are sitting in a diner booth doing the classic March Madness-themed ad. Then Caitlin Clark enters, not just as a quick cameo, but as a full presence alongside them, almost like a fourth star in the room. The ad plays off a simple line about Capital One rewards, or 3% cash back on dining and entertainment with the Capital One Saver card. And that's where the joke kicks in. Someone reacts to the number 3, and Caitlin immediately locks in like she's on the court. Did someone say 3? That kind of response turns a normal marketing line into a basketball instinct moment. Magic Johnson notices her and instantly connects with her presence, bringing a welcoming energy that shifts the whole tone of the scene. Behind the humor, there's also a layer of respect. Reports from behind the scenes suggested Magic was genuinely excited to meet her, not just as another celebrity, but because he recognizes her impact on the game, comparing what she's doing in the WNBA to what he and Larry Bird did for basketball in their era. That's a strong comparison, and it frames her as part of a larger legacy. Charles Barkley, meanwhile, fits right into the playful energy, treating her like she's already part of the group and cracking jokes as if she's been there for years. The whole scene works because it blends comedy with status. She's not treated like an outsider. She's placed directly among legends, and the humor comes from how naturally she fits in. And even when someone casually says, "Caitlin, how are you?" the timing and reactions keep the joke going, reinforcing that she's already operating on that same iconic level. It's a pleasure to meet you. I'm gonna love these guys. Yeah. Oh, who are you? The ad is really built around using Caitlin Clark's natural strengths, precision, timing, quiet confidence, and that signature trick shot swagger she's known for. In one moment, she casually tosses a burger bun across the diner and lands it perfectly on a plate. In another, she flicks a cherry onto Magic Johnson's ice cream like it's just another one of those effortless, off-balance passes she used to make at Iowa. 3 scoops. She scores. Wait, is that pistachio? Oh, she's here. Oh, splash. Did y'all see that? It's off the glass. My face isn't a backboard, okay? What makes it work is how naturally she stays composed through all of it. She adds just a small smirk, the same kind of expression she had after hitting a 30-foot shot against LSU. While everyone else reacts dramatically, she stays calm, and that contrast becomes the core of the humor. But the real charm came when the cameras stopped rolling. Behind the scenes, Magic Johnson was visibly impressed, saying she clearly has that spark. Charles Barkley kept repeating how incredible she is, emphasizing that it doesn't even feel like work. It just feels like everyone is having fun. From across the set, Caitlyn is fully in the mix, joking back and matching the energy. That looseness, the laughter, the back and forth, it showed a different side of her personality. She wasn't just a guest, she was holding her own with three of the biggest personalities in sports history. That behind-the-scenes clip went viral because it revealed something beyond basketball highlights. Even people who don't normally watch women's basketball were sharing those diner scenes and trick shot moments. That's where her marketing power became undeniable. Her rookie season already broke major records. Massive viewership numbers, arenas selling out, jerseys flying off shelves, but this pushed her into a different category. She wasn't just a breakout star anymore. She was becoming a mainstream cultural presence. And at that point, she wasn't just appearing in ads with NBA legends, she was redefining what those ads could look like. Brands use Caitlyn Clark's personality in very different but equally clever ways, and that's what makes all her ads so effective. The humor usually comes from her calm, understated reactions. She doesn't overact. She just naturally slips into competitive mode in completely normal situations, which makes everything funnier. In the Xfinity ad, the joke is built around her name and her identity. It plays on the idea that not all Caitlyn Clarks are the same, like a city planner versus a basketball superstar. The contrast highlights her real talent. While one version has a normal job, the other is casually drilling logo range threes. The ad suggests that just like internet service quality, greatness isn't equal everywhere, and she represents the elite version. It works because it mirrors her real reputation as one of the most reliable long-range shooters in basketball. The GameBridge ad takes a different angle, focusing on her elite passing and court vision. It expands the idea of assists beyond basketball, showing her turning everyday moments into perfectly timed setups, like tossing popcorn into someone's mouth or creating small, assisted interactions in daily life. It feels natural because it directly reflects her real playing style. She led in both scoring and assists, making her a rare dual threat who sees plays before they happen. The humor stays subtle, built on how effortlessly she makes everything look. Then there are more chaotic, modern-style ads like the State Farm social media skit, where sports news and reactions spiral into confusion. Caitlyn sits in the middle of the chaos, reacting in real time while brands and characters interrupt each other, creating a meme-like atmosphere that reflects how fast sports content spreads online today. Even when things get messy, she remains the calm center of attention. State Farm also uses her rookie narrative for irony, treating her like a rookie, while clearly showing she already performs like a veteran. The joke works because she entered the league as a dominant force, breaking records, filling arenas, and drawing massive viewership right away, so the idea of her being new feels outdated. Other ads like Gatorade's let her cook, shift away from comedy into a serious, cinematic tone, focusing on grind, pressure, and repetition. Even there, the internet turns it into memes because of how intense it feels compared to her naturally smooth, expressive style on the court. Across all these campaigns, the pattern is the same. Different brands, different tones, but one central idea. Caitlyn Clark naturally becomes the focal point whether she's playing it straight, being funny, or standing in the middle of chaos. That contrast, effortless greatness mixed with everyday humor, is what makes her presence in ads so widely shared and instantly recognizable.